All right, so I am currently in Labrador City, Newfoundland. It's just over the border from Quebec, Canada, and it is cold. Currently, it is -7 degrees Fahrenheit, and during our time here, it's actually dropped as low as -50 degrees Fahrenheit with the wind chill. Now, as you can imagine, trying to get from Philadelphia to a small little remote area up in Labrador is a little bit difficult. So it started out with a drive from Philly to Montreal. Then from Montreal, we had to fly to Quebec City and then fly into Wabush, which is here in Labrador City. Now that flight actually got a little bit messed up because we had some difficulties with the plane. So we instead had to fly to Sept-Îles and then fly into Wabush on a small little airplane. That was a lot of fun. Now you might be wondering what I'm doing up here in the frozen tundra with all of these snowmobiles, and we'll get more into that here in a little bit after some badass snowmobile content. Alright, so obviously I am no longer in the frozen tundra of Newfoundland up in Labrador City. That is the furthest north that I have ever been as a human being here on Earth, and it's also the coldest I have ever been. I actually took a screenshot as soon as the flight landed. It was negative 20 degrees and felt like negative 44. That type of cold like immediately sucks the life out of you. I felt like my lungs weren't filling with air. I felt like my teeth were freezing anytime I opened my mouth to speak to somebody, but nonetheless, the trip was awesome. Got to experience a lot of awesome things. I actually got to cross something off of my bucket list, seeing the Northern Lights. We went out and photographed them 2 nights in a row, got some awesome results, some awesome photographs from both of those nights. But despite seeing the Northern Lights and despite all the clips you just watched of me chasing snowmobiles with drones, whether they are racing, whether they're ripping through trails, those 2 reasons weren't why I was up in Canada. Now, if you remember back in August of 2022, so last summer, I visited AVSS up in Ottawa. They develop and manufacture parachutes for drones. So the reason you need a parachute on top of your drone is so if there's some sort of malfunction mid-air, the drone will immediately terminate the flight using AVSS's flight termination system. The parachute deploys and the drone comes down slowly, not to protect the drone itself, even though it does mitigate damage, but it's to protect individuals and people on the ground. Now, that trip was awesome, not only because I got to see drones fall from the sky, but because it's given me a newfound respect for everything that AVSS does. It was great being able to learn from their team about everything that goes into the designing, the developing, the manufacturing, and the testing of these parachute systems to make the skies safer. Now let's move and fast forward here to present day in 2023, this winter time. Now, when I was up in Labrador City, I was actually creating a video for AVSS about their brand new product. It's their guided parachute system. So the one issue with these parachutes is that when they deploy, they're kind of at the mercy of the wind to go wherever it's going to take it, which could put it into a tree, it could put it into a road, it could put it into a group of people. But what if you could guide where that parachute was going? Well, that is the problem that the guided parachute system was designed to fix. So this time around, instead of dropping drones from the sky, we actually were dropping larger payloads from a larger drone. So to be specific, we were using the FreeFly Alta. The drone would take off, begin its mission, flying towards a GPS coordinate. It would then drop the payload equipped with this guided parachute system. That parachute would deploy and then guide the payload filled with life-saving supplies to the GPS coordinate that was predetermined by the AVSS team. Now, you might be wondering, why did we need to go to Labrador City in order to test out this brand new technology? Well, it's because it was in a remote area, it was cold, it was overall some of the harshest conditions that you could find, and if we could prove that it worked there, it could probably work anywhere. Also, not to mention, there was a really awesome snowmobile race. It's the largest, longest endurance race for snowmobiles. I think it traverses over 3,200 kilometers, crisscrossing all of Newfoundland. So being able to demonstrate that this payload can be dropped and delivered to a specific point, like let's say a stranded snowmobiler, was really key. Just think about how much this technology is going to change the search and rescue field within drone use, right? I mean, as of right now, we have drones like the Mavic 3 Thermal, the M30T, the M300. All of these drones are great for search and rescue, but really they can only help pinpoint where the person is. So using the thermal camera, you put the drone up, you can see a hotspot, figure out where that person is, and then you need to send people to go up there and actually extract the missing person. But what if that person is stuck in a hard to reach spot? You can't get to them for hours, night is approaching, they're getting cold, they're getting hungry. What do you do, right? All you can do is just look at them. Well, now with the guided parachute system, you can actually send them supplies, send them life-saving supplies, medical equipment. You can send them clothes, blankets, food. You can deliver anything directly to them so that they can survive until help arrives. Now, the thing to note about this guided parachute system is that it's still in what I'd call its beta phase, right? They're running these tests, they're running demonstrations to show that this technology can seriously save lives. And I'll say that being able to witness this firsthand and see how it works really has opened my eyes to how drones are going to continue to evolve and continue to help people out. I mean, I was able to fly my drone and track that parachute as it came down and guide it itself autonomously to land right next to the point. Like, you could see the motors adjusting the parachute so that it would glide right down to where the GPS coordinate was set, where the marked location was that we wanted the payload to land. Now, while my main goal over this trip was basically to put together marketing material to showcase how this parachute system worked. I'd love to be able to get the team from AVSS here on the channel so that we can learn more about how the system worked, kind of what led them to wanting to create it in the first place, where they potentially see it going in the future, and all of that good stuff. Because again, anytime I sit down with someone from their team and learn about how these are developed and the testing that goes into it, it really is something that fascinates me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on the cool snowmobile footage, but also this guided parachute system down in the comment section below. And as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.